Today, I will be going over everything you need to know to make a song that sounds something like this. This track was made with my friend Awaikaze, and later in this video, he will explain what he did to the track to make it sound so good. But first, I want to show you the initial demo I sent, how I made them, what is included in it, and how you can also do so. First, I started with this Rhodes piano from Laziest and wrote this chord progression. This is in the key of A minor. To make the sound even more better, I have flipped the melodies in the second half of the track and made it sound something like this. I use the shortcut that when you select all the notes and press Alt Y, you can flip the tracks vertically and it becomes like this. So just using this as an inspiration, I wrote this melody and put it over here. As you can see, the velocity is almost at zero, so that the softness of the roads is there and it does not strike too hard. Then for processing the roads, I don't think I've done much. It's just a bunch of EQs. In this, I've just cut out the lows, and in this one, I have just cut out the highs. Then the next thing that I do with any track of mine is to add some drums. These drums come from our pack called Euphoria. You can go check out from the link below. And you can use code DARKWINTER for 15% off your first purchase. So first we have a simple hat. You can hear there's a lot of reverb. That's because I've added on the master chain. As for processing this hat, I've added a kickstart so that it gives this ducking effect. Then I've added a snare. As for processing, I've completely filtered it. I do this to a lot of my snares. Like I take a electronic snare and completely filter it out to give it that lo-fi vibe. Send it to a convolution reverb bus with a fruity convolver on top. Finally, added an ozone eraser to make it a bit mono. Then to layer this, I have added a kick. I have recorded this kick using my MIDI keyboard over here. As for processing, I have just reduced the highs. That's it. I have not done anything else. Finally, I've grabbed some foley loops from a pack called Euphoria. It's one of my favorite ones, the soft branches, and EQ'd it to remove the highs. This is what a drum loop sound like. And with the road, this is what we have. Up next, I want to add a bass. I've used the root notes for this, and typically I love to use the plugin called Trillion. I've used the Chapin stick preset. For processing the bass, I've added an EQ to cut off the highs, a Saturn 2. So I learned this trick from, I think, one of my lo-fi friends, where we reduce the lows and then boost the mids so that when the piano and the bass plays, they don't clash that much with the kick. I'll show you the before and after. So first, I'll show you the before. Just normal bass. And now with this Saturn 2 trick, like the mids just come out and it's amazing. A fruity balance to reduce the volume. And finally, a fruity limiter for the sidechain. I'll talk about that a bit later. So for now, we have the Rhodes, we have the drums and the bass. This is what it sounds like. And finally, before sending out the idea to Awaikaze, I have layered it with some pads and some ambience that I'll show you. This comes from my favorite free plugin that I use in every track of mine called Decent Sampler. And I'll show you which bank that I've used, but this is what it sounds like. It is so smooth. I think this is the basic pad drops, if I'm not wrong. Yep, it is a basic pad drops pad 2. It is just a basic root note. That's the A, and the fifth, that's the E. Final two things that I added before sending out the track were these ambience. It is basically a water flowing and I think a cricket. Yep, a stream and some crickets. These come from our pack called Euphoria. You can go check it out from the link below. Use code DARKWINTER for 15% off your purchase. Like literally all the sounds that I use are from that pack. And the final thing that I want to talk about is the side chain. So typically what I do is I use a kick sidechain instead of like any other plugin because I think that manual sidechains are much better. I've copied the same pattern from the kick and added to another kick and just removed it from the output audio. Then using this kick, the kick gets sidechained to the bass and the Rhodes piano. Then when I go to the Rhodes piano or like the bass, I add a fruity limiter. So when the kick plays, this thing ducks. So this is what it sounds like. This happens because it's in comp mode. So this is without the sidechain. Now with the sidechain. Now let me show you with the piano because the piano makes a huge difference. So this is the piano without the sidechain. Now this the piano with the sidechain. It gives a ducking effect and it also keeps the mix very clean. Now I'll pass this over to my friend Awaikaze and he will talk about the guitars, melodies and vocal arms that he added. So on to you, Awaikaze.
Thanks, man. So, guys, Dark Winter sent me this really cool idea. Let's hear it once. Now, to this guitar line came to my head instantly. This is archetype Pliny. Basic settings, some EQ8 to cut out the lows, some panning to the left side. Now, with this, I added this melody on the keys by keyscape sounds like this. Some basic EQ to cut up the lows, some panning on the right. Together, it sounds like. For this guitar top line melody, I added this guitar accents. It sounds like this. It is my favorite guitar plugin, Start by Clave Grant. Some basic EQ to cut up the lows. The Black Hole Immersive, I really love this plugin. It's a reverb plugin by Eventide. And some utility to pan it to the left side. Now, everything sounds like this. Now, after all this, we need to add some change. So I added this guitar counter melody. Let's hear it solo. Again, it's my favorite plugin, Stark, some EQ, black hole immersive, and some panning on the right side. Everything together sounds like this. This also acts as a bridge. And I also made sure I don't over process it too much because Dark Widow will be finishing the track. So just as much as you need it, not too much. I hope you like the track. Over to you, Dark Winter.
It's a beautiful track. I'll need to show you some context before what the mixing that I've done because without the mixing, like the difference is unbelievable. So this is like without the mixing, okay? Let me show you from this guitar part over here. Everything is clashing with each other and it sounds really off. Now let me switch on the mixing and you can hear the difference. So I'll show you the thing that I've done. So first we had the guitar arp that actually comes only in the second half track. If I remove the mixing, that is just 3 plugins, okay? Cabin, Stereo 2 and Soothe. 90% of the load goes to the plugin called Cabin. It's a free plugin by Analog Obsession. It's basically a guitar cabin that you can use to soften your guitars. Then we have the Stereo 2 from FL Studio. It's just a stock stereo. I wanted the guitar to be a bit more wide, so I added this. And finally, to remove out some harsh frequencies, I've added Soothe. Then we have the guitar reverse. This is like the main melody, and I did the same thing for it. I added some cabin. So this is the before. And now with it. Oh, the difference is unbelievable. Then we have the guitar melody that complements the guitar reverse. It's the same thing. I added some cabin, I EQ'd the lows out a bit, I added a soothe. Let me show you the difference. And now with it. It's crazy. And then we have the piano melody. I haven't done much to it, just a standard low cut EQ. That's it. And finally, the vocal hums. Before mixing it, this is what it sounds like. As you can hear, there's a frequency around 100 hertz that pops out. So I've used Soothe to remove that. This one. I've added some EQ to cut out the lows again, and finally added some reverb. I love Vintage Verb. It's a fantastic plugin. It's actually the default preset. This is what we have for now. I'll show you how it sounds like. When the stems came to me, none of I added some transitions. So without the transitions, this is what it sounds like. It sounds very boring. It suddenly cuts to the drop. It feels like it's missing something. We used the transitions from our pack called Euphoria. You can go check out from the link below. And these are my favorite transitions. We have the noise transition. Then we have the range stick. And I've layered it with another transition from another free pack. So together, nice. I've just sprinkled it around the entire track to keep the transition pretty smooth. Then the next thing that I added to finish the track was this break melody. So before, this is what the break sounds like. This is such an empty break. I asked Awaikaze to add some melody before, but it didn't sound right. So I just stepped up and added it. It's a very, very, very simple melody. It's nothing complex. So I'll just show you how it sounds like. For this, I have used the plugin called Nexus 2. It's a OG plugin. I've used this preset called Lo-Fi Piano. As for processing, I have done a few things. I've just EQ'd it. So before, without any EQ, this is what it sounds like. Now with some EQ. It's a very subtle change, but I just liked it in the moment. And finally, some soothe to remove the sharp lows around the 500 to 1K range. Then I used some delay buses that I have over here and routed it into a delay 1/4 that has edge delay from waves. It's a simple 1/4 delay with some EQ after that to remove out the lows. So this is what the break sounds like now. As you can see, I have muted these two notes so that to give a bit of tension. And the tension sustains until the drop. But whereas in the second drops end part, I have added these three notes again. So this is what it sounds like. I did this so that it transitions into the piano melody that Awaikaze added. It sounds really, really good. And as for the final touches, I've added some automations. So you remember that you saw so many fruity balances. It's just for that. Some part of the drop, or say for the second half, I've reduced the bass and the keyboards so that to avoid the mix to clash a lot and create like unnecessary problem. Last two things that I want to cover is this a special mixing trick that I acquired from Jason Joshua. Basically, he was talking about what he does to make his drum pop out, and I want to try the technique in FL Studio. Uses a drum bus called the NLS bus. So we stack that and finally add like a pan and a pass position stereo to check the stereo of it. So I want to show you the difference on how the drums sound like just by just doing this simple trick. So before this is what the drums sound like. Now when I add this trick, this is what it sounds like. It gives us depth to the drums that was unattainable with any other technique or something. It's a unique technique and I want to try it with this track. Then the final trick was mastering. With mastering, I don't have any like typical mastering chain. These are just the plugins that I have used. So first we have the NEQ ME. This is like a mid-side EQ that I like to use from Analog Obsession. It's again a completely free plugin that you can use. I boosted around the 1000 hertz range and around like say 5k hertz. This goes into a Portec. This is like again a free plugin from Analog Obsession that emulates the Portec EQ. Over here, I tried doing my low end trick that I've used using my Portec, but since it didn't work, I just kept it at zero. I didn't do much. Then it goes through an isotope 5. This is where one of my secret sauce lies. As you can see, I've added reverb to my song. People will say this is like a cardinal sin and you should not do it in mixing, but I think adding reverb gives this depth to the track. I'll show you how it sounds like. So this is without the reverb. And now with the reverb. It's a very subtle change. I've just added a pre-delay of 75 milliseconds. I haven't increased the decay time, it just kept it at 1. And the mix knob is only at 10% with the lows cut off. Then it goes into two soothes. It's like a just a basic soothe, not doing much. This goes into my favorite soothe preset. So I'll show you how it sounds like. As you can see, there was only like -2 decibel removal, not in -2, like hardly a dB remove in mid sub bass frequencies, so that keep the mix a bit clean. Then this goes into a Gulfos. I have learned this trick from Mondo Loops, another YouTuber and lo-fi producer, where he adds a lot of Gulfos on his master. So I picked that up and added to my tracks. I've brightened it a bit instead of darker because I just like the sound. Recovered 14, 13%. With the Gulfos, it is necessary that you don't go about 20%. That means there's something wrong with your mix. Then it goes into an L1 stereo. This is from Waves, where it's just a basic brick wall limiter that I have kept the threshold at -1 and just like literally boosted the shit out of it. Finally, we have the Abbey Road J37. I learned this trick from my friend called Skyos. He's an amazing producer. Right now, does jazz and all his indie stuff. So I was at his place and he taught me about the J37. He had a physical model of the tape. I just used the digital version of it. I love this preset called Mastering Quiet, Tight and Open. It just sounds really cool. It's a pretty decent track that we made. You can go check it out from the link below. Also, don't forget to check out Euphoria, a sleepy lo-fi collection from the link below. Don't forget to use code DARKWINTER for 50% off. I also want to thank my friend Awaikaze who helped me produce this track with his beautiful guitars and stuff. That's it for now. If you want to see any other track breakdown, any questions regarding the track, just write it down in the comments and I'll try to answer it.